Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 1 of the Crubcast. I'm your host for today. My name is Kevin, also known as the Golden Bolt, and we're here with 3 of our very wonderful co-crubbers. I'm going to call them co-crubbers. That's what we're calling them now.
I like that.
Crubbers.
Yeah, that's Trav. Say hello, Trav.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Moriarty, say hi.
Hello.
And Nicco, say hi.
What's up, gamers?
We are here today. Like I said, it's episode 1 of the Crubcast. Some of you folks may already know some of our stories and our wonderful faces, especially M's.
My face is right here. It's beautiful. If you're on the audio version, I promise you, I'm gorgeous.
It's like the reverse of Medusa, where like you don't get turned to stone. You're just in such awe immediately.
Well, I mean,
You turn stone into flesh people?
You turn into brick.
I was gonna say, you look at Moriarty's face and you just turn to direct liquid.
Yeah, it's true.
Ooh, okay. I like where Trav was going, where he looks at like pieces of rock and they turn fleshy.
Yeah, like they don't turn into people; they just turn into flesh.
Oh my god!
So what I was saying before we went there was we're gonna spend a lot of this first episode and the next 2 episodes introducing the 8 people that are a part of our Crubcast crew. If you want a shortened version, over on @CrubOfficial on YouTube, we have a Meet the Crubcast little stinger video where we all answered some icebreaker questions. It's pretty fun. But first, we'll talk about
a great little project.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun and
Yeah.
a lot of chaos, which is kind of what Crub always is at the end of the day. So speaking,
It's what it is and what we want it to be.
Yeah,
All right, I'm done cutting
By
you off.
design.
No, it's
Chouse
fine.
by design.
No, it's fine. Cut me off more.
If he ever gets through a sentence, this will be a bad podcast.
Yeah. This is what you have to look forward to every episode of this. We've been so good in our test podcast of not cutting each other off, and then on our first actual one, that's going to be the one where we
Nicco,
just
you
go
gotta come off. What are you doing?
completely off the rails. Oh, you still got me. Damn it. So, Trav,
Hey
tell
guys,
us a little bit about you, Trav, and tell us what some of your interests are, how you came to Crub, how you found this wonderful crew.
All right. Well, you're just basically asking for my entire origin story and how it led me to this very moment. Hi. I'm Travis. I'm a video editor. Been video interning for about 3 years, and I'm hoping I can get this job application. Let me start over. But no, I interned as a video editor for 4 years. Used that experience to start doing YouTube. On what was it, my 2nd year of doing YouTube, I decided to go to Too Many Games, and that's how I found Kevin, by sheer happenstance. We didn't know each other. We've told the story multiple times. It ended with violence.
It started with violence, really.
Yeah, I guess it started with violence. That's a much better way of putting it.
For those that
Story
don't know,
I heard.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Trav and I had met digitally on a Discord server of a friend of ours, and he had mentioned, hey, I'm at Too Many Games, here's a picture of me, if you see me, slap me, just to the whole server. And so I looked for his purple flannel, I found him, I stared him down angrily, and then I slapped him in the face.
Yeah.
And then continued staring him down.
So literally the way that it went was he came up to me. I was standing near the front of the line, so I'm imagining Kevin just kind of cutting in line, which is very funny to me, even though I don't know if that's the case.
I think you were in the back of the line. I think there wasn't a line at that point.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of a different moment. Maybe there wasn't a line, yeah. But he comes up to me, like stands directly parallel with my person, facing me, slaps me right in the face. Like it was a gentle slap, but it was enough to like startle me.
It made a noise.
And just like stare. Yeah, it made a noise. And it just dead eye, just staring right at me. And it took me a moment to process what happened. And then after like a couple seconds of like fight or flight, which I was going to choose fight for the record.
That would have been a great introduction.
I realized, you're that guy from our friend's server. I'm not sure if we want to mention who it was. Yeah, so we literally met because he called my bluff. I didn't think anyone would actually try to slap me.
And that's how we became friends.
Yeah, and it's all been uphill from here. Mostly. There was the time that
It's all
Kevin
been
shot me.
uphill?
It was pretty cool.
It's only been work from here.
I was gonna say I thought the same thing.
It's all been effort.
Yeah.
That's not at all what I meant to say, but I'll go with it.
Yeah, well, no, it's because you guys are good. You guys are good dudes. You put effort
You
into
ever heard
your
the
friendships
story of
and
Sisyphus
relationships.
of pushing the boulder up the hill?
Yes.
Kevin's my boulder. If I stop pushing him, he crushes me.
Oh, okay. So can we attribute the Golden Bolt's success to you, Trav?
No, not at all. If anything, I owe a bit of my success to him, and this is where we get sappy on the first episode. No, Kevin talked me out of some really terrible ideas for my YouTube early on, and I value that. Meanwhile, I gave him funny edits of what's the raccoon's name from that game you
Sly
like?
Cooper.
Sly Cooper. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gave him edits of him in Teen Titans, so that was something.
Yeah, that was the thing. I forgot about that.
That was like one of the earliest mocap things that you had me do.
Yeah,
I think
because
it
you
was
were
also the last one.
you were big into doing the keyframing stuff at that point.
Yeah,
So.
I really like doing keyframe motion BS in After Effects. I still do. I haven't done them in a while.
Yeah, it's a lot of
It's
work.
kind of sick, dude. I didn't know that they had that in After Effects. That's awesome.
Yeah, it has a dedicated. So now Sony Vegas has one now out of all the programs.
I don't recommend it. Probably,
Maybe I don't know how it is.
I wouldn't trust it.
But I took a editing class in high school that taught us very basic After Effects, and one of the things on there was the motion tracking tool. It takes a lot of setup, so it's definitely not like beginner level. Well, I mean, it's not like if you go into there just to try to use this tool, you're gonna be overwhelmed.
Yeah, that's true for a
but
lot
I mean,
of video
it's-
editing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But then, thanks to Kevin, I met basically everyone that you're going to meet on the podcast if it's your first time here. You've seen them if you've seen the test pods.
Yeah.
I met Nicco the following year in person. Actually,
I
no.
don't-
I think
I
meeting
don't
him
know
in
you.
person was the first time I met him. Period.
that was friend to love at first sight.
That was the
Yeah,
first time
basically,
that we
yeah.
talked to each other. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
so
the first time that we spoke.
I don't remember what it was. I think it was okay. Yeah. So my first too many games, I became known in a small community because I T-posed in a group picture. Except not
that's
really
it.
because you couldn't see my arms.
That's
So because I thought, oh man, I hate lingering on this because there's a part of my brain that's like, dude, you got to stop bringing this up. This is like Stevie Ray Vaughan going like, I used to be famous, you know. But it's like I was sitting, someone, my friend Elliot yells, everybody T-pose. And so me thinking like it's kind of weird when you just like T-pose to make eye contact. So I just turn my body a little bit and just stare off into space. And that apparently was enough to get me like well known in this small community of people where like one of John's friends put out a freaking manhunt for me on Twitter that was like, who is this guy? I need to find him.
Friend of the
and
Crubcast. Some call him Jonathan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that happened, which has basically catapulted my whole online presence. I was going
Sick.
somewhere with that. Right. So the year that I meet Nicco, which I want to say is the year after this, he just like, I've never talked to this person. I've only heard about him through rumors online. And by that, I mean discussions with Kevin. He's this like, this guy, I want to, were you wearing like a martial arts gi? that day?
No, I was.
What were you
Oh no.
wearing?
I had my fanny pack across my chest. I had my fanny pack on. It was
Why do
across.
I remember that as you wearing a martial
Well,
arts
because
gi?
the pattern is the same. I see what you're. It's the seatbelt pattern. I'm with you.
Okay, a little bit.
You're
yeah.
valid.
These are things. I should not be reading the chat. Sorry.
Speaking of the
I,
chat, that's a good time to jump in and say, for those that don't know, we record these live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Crub_official. You can find us there every Tuesday around 7 p.m. Eastern where we record these things. There's an exclusive pre-show and post-show where we hang out with chat. And then you can also, if you're here in the Twitch, you can get the nicely edited version on every audio platform where podcasts can be found, as well as youtube.com/@CrubOfficial. If you go there, either way, everywhere but Twitch, make sure to leave us a nice little like and a comment or a review, whichever is applicable. And I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal. if you hit the like right now, if you don't like the video by the end, you can take it back. That's okay. But at least click that now, please, or I don't like you. Speaking of I don't like, hi, Moriarty.
Hello. Yes, lots of people don't like me, and here I am anyways. I just keep weaseling my way in. What can I say?
I was actually about to introduce you. Are you okay if I finish my bit real quick?
Sure.
Okay, I'll keep it real brief. So basically, first experience seeing Nicco. Welcome back to the Trav Guy Story Hour. First time meeting Nicco. This man with what I could only describe as, I was about to say Jersey Mike's, Jersey Shore energy at first glance.
Jersey Mike's energy.
That's
like the worst flavor of
Jersey
G Fuel.
Mike's energy. Sure, it's like
the worst for loco flavor.
Like, I swear, I remember the first words coming out of his mouth being like, yo, T-posing, that's hilarious. And, like, right away, we're just like, we're best friends now.
Yeah.
And then, I want to say that year I saw M, but I didn't know him very well, and I was still kind of intimidated by his presence, that I didn't properly meet him until the next year, where I found out, oh, you're not scary, you're not going to beat me up, you're a real friendly, nice guy. So, Em, I'll pass the mic on to you because you've been neglected so far.
And then it took another year before you told me that I was intimidating to you.
Yep.
And here we are. We own a business now.
How do you break that subject?
Like, why am I so scary
You're
to
like
you?
7 foot tall. You can probably deadlift me.
You can't teach that. You can't teach that.
That's true.
Well, you know.
Wait,
yes,
what can't we
hello.
teach?
So, my name is Moriarty. It's really hard to kind of give you the elevator pitch on who I am because, I'm a well-rounded individual, and that unfortunately means that I show up in all these horrible places as a different person. You see my stream personality.
Like
I'm sorry?
Get it? He's round like his logo.
Oh.
Wait, was that not the joke?
No.
Ignore me.
That was great. That was good.
Yeah, so like if you've seen my videos, I guess I would say critical yet playful, delving into the world of video games and exploring the historical context and industry and analysis and whatever. And then you come and you see me on a stream, and I'm a 1849 prospector who's wheezing in the corner. I don't know. It's a lot of different things, right? I think that's the introduction I'm going to go with.
Sure.
That's enough.
We'll jump into the Crub Nexus introductions. Trav already got his touched on.
Was I not supposed to give that whole story yet?
No, you could.
Nexus.
I figured we'd say hello to everyone first, and then talk about the Nexus event that is Crub.
My bad.
But I kind of
Nexus
that's
event.
fine. That's fine. So Nicco, speaking of Nexus events, who are you?
Oh, dude. Yeah, I mean,
Ooh, we getting existential.
Who are any of us, really?
yeah, who are any of us, dude? No, I'm just a bull. I'm out here. I like to entertain. I'm three things. I'm a musician. I'm a data analyst. And the third thing I haven't figured out yet.
This is the
TBD.
This is the perfect introduction.
Yeah, right. The third thing is TBD, and the third thing will always be TBD. Because I like to think that I'm a good friend, I'm a good talker, and I have an MBA. Kevin, who are you?
I am a bull.
He sure is. He sure is.
No, my name's Kevin, like I said at the start. I'm also known as the Golden Bolt on YouTube. Like Moriarty, I tend to focus my YouTube content on I tend to call them like docuspectives nowadays, where they're both historical documentary type deep dives into the history of different games or movies or shows, that sort of stuff. And then there's an element where I kind of give my own history with those things or my thoughts on them, like any YouTuber in the gaming space. So that's mostly who I am nowadays. That's my job, and everything hurts. I think Trav just walked off cam.
Did Trav just eat a pickle?
Water. He choked on water and is now holding a Switch Pro controller. So
for our audio listeners, Trav just ate a pickle live on camera.
I just choked on Monster Energy.
No, Jersey Mike's energy. Thank you.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Jersey Mike's energy.
Dude, all right, that's gonna be our first Crub collaboration.
We've done it. We're gonna make our first Twitch sub Jersey Mike's logo, and they're not gonna question it. They're not gonna sue us.
The Crub and Jersey Mike's collab, I don't think anybody understands how legendary that would be. Just putting me in a Kratos cosplay and going into the Jersey Mike's.
It needs to be legally distinct, Kratos.
Well, actually, wait. Trav, you should be in the Kratos cosplay, and I'll dress as boy.
I don't want to be bald.
Well, and I'll dress as boy.
Okay, that's fine.
And that'd be funny.
I want Trav's hair in the...
Nothing against bald people, for for the record.
I want Trav's hair in the Walter White bald cap from El Camino.
Yeah.
The big alien one.
Can you imagine just like
It's just Megamind. So now that we've introduced ourselves, we'll kind of talk a little bit about how we all met. And so we already introduced Trav and how he met everybody. Em, you and I met back in 2016, right around the time we both happened to independently start our channels within a month of each other, give or take.
Yeah. We both started our channel about a month apart. We were both doing completely different content than we do today as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Which, just kind of highlights that you will pivot as you do stuff.
Yeah.
And that's some good YouTube advice because we met through a YouTube advice place.
Yeah, so it was like May of 2016, I found this community while looking for how do I promote my YouTube stuff. Like
where do I spam?
Yeah, where do I spam my crap? And I found this place called NewTubers. And so very quickly I realized that everyone there was just dumping their links and leaving and not engaging. So after a bit of time engaging with people and trying to give them feedback and trying to make it like a, hey, I'll help you, make sure you pay it forward thing, I ended up taking over that community. And very shortly after, Moriarty jumped on and shot me a message and was like, hey, I made a Discord. You want this Discord? And that's how we met. And that's how we started the now largest YouTube creator community in the world.
Yes,
pretty cool.
Largest in the world.
Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate on what that is?
No.
Okay. Cool.
And do you want to elaborate?
It is a Reddit community, a Discord community called NewTubers, which, funny new YouTubers, right? And it is the largest community of content creators in the world. And it focuses primarily on providing usable and accurate assistance to creators on how to grow their channel. We've worked with a lot of people who have gone on to be millions of subscribers large.
Wow. Some
of the names that you've seen on Trending or who have, broken YouTube, they came through the NewTubers halls first. And I don't know, there's something about when you're a YouTuber and you go out there and you say, okay, so I want to know how to do this stuff. And I'm willing to spend a little bit of money to do it. That just sort of brings out all the worst people in the world.
Yeah.
And they will give you terrible advice and they will actively attempt to sabotage your content. And, at first it was just about finding, a place to spam. But then after that, it became a little bit more about, making it so that it's easier for people who are doing what we're doing to not be screwed over.
Yeah, like especially the Discord nowadays, because the Reddit is massive. So if you're a someone who wants to be a YouTube creator, I almost said a wannabe YouTube creator. If you're someone who aspires to jump into the YouTube game, the Twitch game, even the TikTok or YouTube Shorts, Instagram, any sort of influencer game, the subreddit is probably the first place you'll find when you look for how to do this stuff. It's either that or a the pyramid scheme, one of the two. And
Let's go.
The subreddit, because of that, is so massive that it's like currently Moriarty, myself, and like 3 other people technically moderate that place, and I'll admit I don't really anymore. The Reddit or the Discord though is a lot more hands-on and helpful because it's a lot smaller, obviously, than 300,000 people, and that's just 300,000 like daily users. Honestly, it's wild over there. But on the Discord, like there were a couple years where you and I would be there in the trenches giving like an hour of direct feedback on people's content. Not anymore, but there was a whole community that we started there that just was genuinely aiming to help one another. And from that, we created a separate room within the server for people in like the game reviewer niche. Yep. And so that was how we ended up meeting multiple friends of the channel, such as Mini-Me, who started around the same time as we did.
R.I.P. to Rossi.
R.I.P. to Rossi. Minnie's got a funny story that we'll tell when he inevitably joins the podcast. But he was like in the 500 subscriber range at one point, and he had told me later, he was like, yeah, I was jealous of you because you had 1,000 subscribers. And then I got to tell him like, yeah, but 2 weeks later I was jealous of you because you suddenly blew up and had 20. And it was just like, it was, we've all kind of come up together. And so that kind of spawned one side of the Crub Nexus event. I'm still going to keep calling it that because
Rocks was in there, Brody.
Yep. Rocks.
Really?
Sean Wolf Chaos was there. He came through NewTubers, I'm pretty sure.
I want to say Mykonos fan was through there at one point as well.
Chris was through there because of me having followed him prior. So
Right.
I had invited and brought him in because we had become friends. But we'll tell that story next week because Chris is hosting next week's episode, and we'll tell you about our cringe DMs.
Oh, it's a great story.
Oh,
too.
dude, it's a great story.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It's really good. And then that brings us to the true origin of Crub, which would be the decade plus 15-year friendship that Nicco and I have.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think
Whereabouts?
I've just known you my life. I think I just known you.
Yeah.
We've just been boys.
Yeah, we've been friends since middle school, and it's only gone uphill from there, as Trav said.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's been work every single day. We have to patch this. We have to patch this up every second.
Yeah,
I'm not living that down.
There was an original Crub
I mean,
prior.
getting rid of it, Trav, would be uphill from here. So.
Yeah, honestly. And then I'll just sit on you, and you'll go back downhill.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I am pretty around.
There was an original Crub that Nicco, myself, and a few other friends were in, including the last member of the Crub crew, JTart9, world famous streamer, that we had made in college.
He's the last member.
Well, we mentioned everyone else.
Oh, true. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So he was the final one
I mean,
to get mentioned.
JTart9 wasn't in YouTubers. He didn't need it.
Yeah, no, he was too famous already. We couldn't get him no matter what. But yeah, so Nicco, do you have any other stories of the origin of you coming into Crub that you would like to share?
Man, well, yeah. No, okay. Well, so here's the thing, right? The purpose of the initial group chat was to write a TV show.
That's very true. We had, well, I can't even say we, because it was you and another friend of ours had
it was me and one of our other
aspirations
friends
in high school.
Yeah, we wanted to be right. I mean, look, like we always like. Well, look, I mean, everybody knows me, and everybody knows that I want to be famous so that I can get my fast food customer service quicker. But
it's a real thing. No, this is a real thing.
Yeah, no, he's serious.
Well, yeah, of course I'm serious. The more followers you have, the more people see the tweets.
Well, no,
anyway,
people need to understand that you are serious.
Yeah, I don't know why they would think I'm anything other than serious.
This came up earlier. This came up earlier today. It's a long running, months, years long saga of Nicco hating customer service workers.
No, it's not the workers. It's the policies. It's the policies. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, we were we wanted to write a TV show because we thought we were funny. We thought we were, we can write, like, we've seen all these good TV shows. Oh, we could do that. We absolutely could not.
I remember you did a table read, the two of you, in near the end of high school, of the first episode. And I remember just listening to it, and I was like, this is pretty good for like high school dumb writers.
Yeah, right. It was dumb, right? The
But it was
bits were
like
good.
10 pages too long. So I was like,
Yeah.
all right, look, I like writing. Let me go ahead and edit this down.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there I joined up, and the story of that one, should we tell the story of what that show was going to be? Or do we want to save that?
I'm totally fine with that,
Okay.
but I think I don't know. It's up to you. I don't care.
We'll save it because it wasn't, there was another person involved that's not part of Crub, so maybe they want to use that idea one day. It wasn't a good one. It was not a good idea.
Yeah, I doubt it, but I will get permission before we do it.
Yeah,
it's a
so
good
we'll tell
call.
that story down the road. But
Yeah.
that was the short of it. Was that then in college, Nicco and I went to the same college for the first year,
Yeah.
and so we spent a lot of time hanging out and writing more of this as a way to hang out with one of our high school friends who was not in the immediate vicinity of us.
Yeah.
And from there, it kind of spun out into Crub, and then Crub kind of spawned from there on Discord, and then slowly but surely, I kind of was like, let me converge these groups of friends. Like, there's a
Yeah.
lot of people here that will mesh, and let me get them all involved. And now it's a company. So
I also remember meeting Moriarty. So when I met Moriarty, we had just had like a pretty formative incident where someone that like we know mutually is used one of my towels, but he used the towel that I was actively using at the time. I'll tell that full story at a later date and time. But that was the thing. I first met Moriarty, and I would not stop talking about the towels because it was just so absurd. It was an absurd story. We'll get to it, but I remember meeting Moriarty, and it was the first time I think that I didn't care if somebody liked me or not because I was just on about something. I was just so engrossed in solving this problem and just being like, why did this happen?
Yes, and I believe the very first thing you ever said to me was something along the lines of, okay, if somebody used your towel.
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds like me.
This first episode of the podcast, we spent months practicing this, and now it's just immediately a trauma dump.
No, it's not a trauma.
That's all we need it to be. That's why we made the podcast.
Yeah, we're just... No, I think
Dudes
we
will
just...
start a podcast before they get therapy.
We all watched, I think... Yeah, I mean, I think we all watched the older episodes that we've done, and we're like, we're a little stiffsky, so we just decided to start talking. So that's how I met Moriarty. Kevin's always been just a fact of life from the beginning. I met Trav the way that Trav said, and happy to be here.
Yeah,
I'm happy I met you.
Dude, likewise. My life is better with you in it.
Oh,
Good.
Aw, that's
All of you.
sweet.
All three
Trav
of you.
You're
died.
sweet.
Okay. I'm gonna die just to own Nicco.
Oh, yeah. Someone counteract it with negative energy.
That's just how you have to do it. So that's the gist of who the four of us are. Trav,
Hi.
tell us a little more about what grinds your gears.
What, like things that I hate?
Sure.
Nicco. No.
Yeah.
That would be a
I
good
don't
twist
know.
right
do
there.
we do we have a specific like what are we going for here? This is
it
way
can
too
be
vague.
so Nicco was talking about like a petty squabble in his life. So give us one petty squabble.
Okay. I need to match
and
that
then-
energy.
Yeah, give us one petty squabble, and then one thing that is bad, but you like it, like a bad quality. So like a Jersey Mike's.
I mean,
But you can't say Jersey Mike's.
I like McDonald's. I don't know. I'm a pretty positive person. I don't get hung up on a lot of things, which is why I find Nicco so entertaining because he gets hung up on the smallest things.
Everything.
Like it's hilarious to me because it's like an entire part of the human brain that I am like physically missing. is just like, that is Nicco's whole brain.
Oh, dude, you're better off. You're better off. I'm such like
it's
I'm like a Larry
amazing
David.
to me. Every time I'm in a conversation, or sorry, a call with Nicco, I guess a conversation as well, I am always entertained, no matter how serious or trivial the subject is. Like, Nicco is one of the most entertaining people to just have a casual conversation with.
You will not know
thank
where
you.
it's going to end or
I
start.
appreciate that. Yeah, you never know where it's. I never know where it's going. So how can anyone else know where it's going?
It. Small grievances. I don't know, Funko Pops. Even though I have some, I don't know. I'm trying to itch the bottom of my brain barrel trying to find something, but I don't even know
Is that just a
what
lobotomy?
to look for.
just-
A
are you
little
just-
bit. A lobotomy
Yeah.
is when you go in through the eyes. I'm going through the ears right now.
Okay.
$5 nuggies. I mean, we could talk about God, I can't even talk about nuggets without thinking of Nicco. Like, Nicco had that whole 20-piece McNugget spiel one day. I'll
Do you
let
wanna-
him tell that
Yeah,
story.
do you want to tell that story, Nicco?
I don't really like. I don't remember a lot of it.
I think you were drunk during the conversation.
I mean,
too.
that
This was
sounds
several
right.
conversations. He was not
But,
drunk
like-
for all of them.
Well, so the idea is that, like, I think McDonald's like raised their prices on chicken nuggets or something.
This was early COVID inflation.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so basically, okay, so ignorance is bliss, right? And and so I've decided to be ignorant of the supply chain, the entire concept. I have an MBA now, so I've decided, but I didn't have an MBA at this time. That's my excuse.
I keep
so-
thinking that you're talking about the NBA.
Yeah. Yep. I'm James Harden. We have the same
James.
build.
Jesus Christ.
So, no, but basically, right, like, I've decided to completely ignore the supply chain. And as a result, when, there's this, this little tiny fad going around, COVID-19, right?
Little fat.
Little tiny thing, right? Totally not harmful to many, many, many lives. But basically, right? Yeah, basically, they raised the price on chicken nuggets because there were no chickens. There were just no chickens. There was no supply chain. There was no people to deliver the chicken to the places that it needed to be, right? So there was no chicken. They raised the price on chicken nuggets, and I was like, why can't me get 20 chicken nuggets for $5 like I used to be able to?
My favorite part about this was at one point this conversation went on for weeks, and
A
so
very long time.
anytime food came up, it was immediately setting off a bomb. And so at one point during the conversation, I started up or downloaded first and then started the McDonald's app, because the idea was that $5 nuggies was an app bonus or an app ordering thing. And he was upset that they were now $6. He has
No,
a
I think it was
lucrative-
8. I think they
okay.
put it up to 8.
They're like 8 now, so it might have actually been 6 at that point. It was not a significant bump. This man has a lucrative job, and so
Currently, I didn't at the time. I was unemployed at the time.
So I open the McDonald's app and I look, and $5 nuggies is right there.
Oh yeah, no, they were definitely.
It was just where he was that they were $8 more, and this was.
Wait,
weeks-
it was that they were $1 more?
It was like probably like a buck or a $1.50, somewhere thereabouts.
It was pretty negligible.
Holy.
But yeah, I
Anyway,
mean, I have
carry
to
on.
complain.
Sorry, I was blown away by
So
that
that's the gist of it. Was that this whole thing was over a dollar consistently.
But the best part about it, and this is the best punchline that there possibly could be, is that Chris posted a picture in our chat, a screenshot from Uber Eats that was a 20-piece chicken nugget meal, and it said meant for 2 people.
That's right. That's what set it up.
I forgot about that.
Meant for 2 people.
Oh my god.
Oh man, well, because that's what we used to do, right? We used to just get the 40 McNugget meal for 2 people, but it was 20 McNuggets is meant for 2 people. The 40 nugget meal is meant for 4 people.
So speaking of things that start with M,
Yes, sir.
Tell us about one thing that is very minor but upsets you greatly, and then
I don't like that other people pre-order video games.
Ooh. Okay,
They're
that's
just-
Okay.
that's
Dude, if I had a
think that
Woz-
pre-ordering is bad, and I know that it doesn't affect me in any way, but I'm annoyed by it. Every time somebody, so my brother, he won't play Game Pass because he doesn't get to own the games.
Oh,
Okay?
that's
All right, so he's that kind of a person. And yet he will go out there and pre-order the $90 version of Redfall.
Oh no!
that's worse
my-
than Deathloop. That's worse.
That's way worse than Deathloop. Oh, my god.
Yes.
That's funny.
So I just find myself annoyed when other people pre-order games, and it doesn't affect me in any way. And this is outside of just the problems with pre-ordering in the industry, right? Like, forget all of that. Other people are pre-ordering. I'm like, you should stop that. That's going to be bad. You know it's going to be bad. Why are you wasting my time thinking about you playing a bad game?
To clarify, was it actually Redfall?
It was actually, yes, of course.
Oh my god.
If I go through his library.
That's almost an unbelievable example. Like, that's just at the level that I'm like, maybe that was just a random off the top of your head game title. The fact that it's real.
It's real.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow, dude.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
I wonder if I can pull up his library real quick and just kind
You
of
just have it
tell
on
you.
hand. Dude, it's
Pull
like
up his Xbox
Redfall.
library.
Like Redfall, it's like the most recent Call of Duty, like not even like the old good ones.
Make sure you pre-order the Game of the Year edition of Far Cry 6, the game that did not win Game of the Year from anybody.
God.
The only
Anthem.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Cyberpunk 2077 he pre-ordered.
Okay, but you said that's a good game though.
It's a good game, but he still
It
pre-ordered
was not at launch.
It wasn't a good game
Yeah.
at launch.
Okay.
Greedfall, do you remember that game?
Oh,
my
God, that was one of
God.
the,
I've
the
heard the
PS5 launch
Yeah.
games. PS5 and Xbox, yeah.
Okay, so he has Redfall
And Greedfall.
and Greedfall.
Mm-hmm.
Greed's the second color. There's red, green, and then they're going to make blue and yellow.
Red and Greed.
So I'm excited for Yellowfall.
Outriders? Oh, he has the premium ultra version of Outriders sitting here.
Why?
Let's go.
What is it?
Nobody's ever played that.
What is that?
Don't worry about
Exactly. Yes, exactly. What is that?
Outriders.
Does he have
State
the
of
special
Decay
edition?
2.
Does he have the special edition of Drawn to Death?
So, like,
Probably.
I mean, I'm guilty of pre-ordering those special editions, but it's for a game that I have, like, complete confidence in.
Yeah, same here. I pre-ordered Elden Ring, but I knew I was gonna put 150 hours into Elden Ring.
The thing is
Like,
that I can
if
have this
I know
argument
that I'm
with
gonna
him.
sink a lot of hours into it on launch day, like, I mean, I don't see why. Like, I don't see the harm in it personally.
Okay,
Yeah.
but a lot of these games that he is pre-ordering are on Game Pass. He could try
that's
them.
very different.
Dude, that's
He
so
could play
frustrating.
them beforehand, and if he likes it so much, he could pay for it, but he won't.
Dude, I used to be like that with music, like when Spotify first, like when streaming first became like a popular thing, right? This was back when Taylor Swift was fighting the idea of music streaming, if you recall. And I was just so into physical CDs. I have a huge physical CD collection because I just was late to the party with Spotify in the same way. Same way that your brother was late to the party with Game Pass.
There's an interesting... that's interesting because I have never once cared about physical music media.
As most people don't.
Yeah, no, and it's not like it's an uncommon take, but that's the one where I don't really have an interest in collecting for it at all. I mean, I collect games, but even that then not as much anymore. Partly as a circumstance of my job, where now I get games anyway, so it's kind of hard to justify spending money on them.
For those listening, behind Kevin is hundreds of video games.
Yeah, there's a whole 2 shelves worth of games, and it goes lower. There's a lot more over
Not
there.
2 shelves, 2 shelving units.
Yes, like hundreds of games that I mostly bought when I was sad. So,
Damn.
but yeah, with music, it's interesting. I get why you would be a collector of music, because we didn't talk about this much. But one of the way that I introduced you to Trav more indirectly was Trav was looking for music, and I was like, hey, you should check out. Like, I'll hook you up with Nicco. You should check him out. He's really good. And Trav, I think the way that you described it was, you were like, yeah, I'm sure I'll listen and see, like, he's probably just helping a friend. And then you realized, oh wait, no, he's serious. Like, he's really good.
Yeah, no, I was like, all right, you're pranking me. There's no way that it's like, oh yeah, I just happen to be in contact with someone that's super freaking talented.
Yeah, like dozens of instruments this man knows. It might be thousands.
Thank you.
I can say this.
It.
I slept under the same roof as this man for about a week, and I was like, damn, where's all the music? And then Nicco comes out with a fucking bassoon.
Jesus.
Bassoon. I wish I owned a bassoon, dude. That'd be pretty sick.
But yeah, because of your experience with music, I could see why in your case you're one of the ones that it's not even like vinyl for you. It's specifically CDs.
No, it was CDs. Yeah, vinyls were too much upkeep, too much maintenance.
That's fair. That's fair. Do you own any vinyls or a player or anything?
I have a couple. I have a player. I don't know if it works, and I've never opened any of the vinyls that I do have.
Interesting.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I've thought about buying vinyls for albums or games that I just want to indulge in that feeling of owning something kind of fancy. I've really thought about it, but then, like, what am I gonna do with it? Am I gonna play it? No,
that
I
was
can just listen to it on my phone.
But that's the thing, though. I will say this with video games, right? There is not as much of an incentive for game developers to have their games on a service like Game Pass as there is for musicians to have their music perpetually, in perpetuity, on like a Spotify or a YouTube Music or Apple Music, right?
That kind of depends, because nowadays, like, we know that studios get paid consistently for being on Game Pass. That's subsidized a lot of indie games to exist. Same with PlayStation Plus Premium,
right?
Whatever it's called.
I mean,
similar,
it's not
similar
like the
thing,
margin.
where being on there either it increases your likelihood to sell DLC, or you're getting paid for a game like Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart just went on PS Game Pass, and that probably is a signal that game has reached its end of life as far as consistent sales go. So now they can reliably see Plus subscriptions go up because the PS5 game is on there. So in that case, that's a first party game, so that's different. But yeah.
No, that's fair. I hadn't thought about it like synergizing the market that way.
Yeah, and speaking of Ratchet and Clank, actually, what you were saying about vinyls for games, Trav, one of the things that got me more jaded in recent years to collecting games or really anything was there was a Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart vinyl that they put out, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I might buy that. Like, it's the actual soundtrack. It's Mark Mothersbaugh from Devo, who composed that game.
Awesome.
And it was like, okay, that's really cool. Like, I like that. There's a Ghost of Tsushima one I saw as well. But there were like 7 or 8 editions that all had different color, vinyl, the records themselves. And that was true for the Ghost of Tsushima one. That was true for the Ratchet and Clank ones. And it's just the limited run effect, or the Funko Pop effect, where it's just, let's upsell you so many versions, because the ones that are maybe have impulse issues or impulse sensitivities are going to buy them. And that wouldn't have been me from the impulse perspective years ago, but it would have been me where it's like, I kind of want that. Like, I own a lot of amiibos. I own too many amiibos. I actually use them all, to be fair. Like, I played Smash Bros with them a lot. But that was one of those things that kind of stopped me from collecting physical games as much nowadays. Like I still buy some for the games I like and the games that I want to, have physically, but now that it is just a download key, I mean, you have a lot of perspective on physical media from a preservation standpoint and how that stands up today. And actually there's a good related news piece that came up earlier this week, or maybe even yesterday, which was that the Final Fantasy 16 director wants to make sure that there's not a day one patch for that game, if possible. Like he wants the whole game to be finished on disc.
I love that.
So that's the kind of game that you could see being preserved down the road on console. But
you just gave Nicco another tangent.
Yeah, no, but Em, what's your perspective on physical collection and preservation beyond what you were saying about your brother?
Yeah.
Right. So, boy, that is, I think maybe, yeah. We did a video about game preservation, a kind of tangent piece that we've done earlier with some of the guys like Trav, and I think Nicco was on that one as well.
Yeah, I was there.
So we've talked about game preservation, and I've done several videos on game preservation, several hour-long videos talking about
fantastic
everything.
Videos, by the way.
Yeah.
Talking about everything from limited run games to the actual act of game preservation, what we need to do and stuff like that. And boy, I think I've just come down on the fact that physical games don't exist anymore. Right? I don't think they exist at all. And that's because of the day one patch. It's because of the content updates. It's because of the fact that at this point, most of these games require a DRM like Steam or a DRM like Xbox or PlayStation to even work. So in a few years, when the PlayStation 5 is like the Dreamcast and its discs don't spin anymore and you literally can't play it, literally cannot turn on a PlayStation 5 no matter how good you've used it and how well you've taken care of it because the parts don't work anymore, that game doesn't exist in a physical media, even if it is Final Fantasy 16, right? Yeah. So I just don't think that physical games actually exist anymore, and I think that there's going to be, in 30 years, a whole lot of people have been saving up and building these huge collections of games that are going to be the owners of some very, very fine CDs with nothing on them.
And no manuals either. for the more recent stuff, which is also part of why I got a little jaded over time and burned out on collecting.
Same way for me with CDs, honestly, because the booklets stopped having lyrics in them, at which point the utility was gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, so I don't know. I guess when I look at it, right, I'm a huge proponent of good game preservation, good preservation of digital media in general. I'm a huge proponent of, these sort of multifaceted approaches to it where it's not just, it's on Steam, so it's fine. Because, Steam probably won't go bankrupt, but it could. Yeah. And if it does...
I have historically been one of those kind of people that's like... you see these problems with like Epic Games Store or other launchers, and I'm like, oh, that's so gross, and then I'm completely negligent to Steam doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those where we like, we like Steam. So no, I was going to say that there's a games collection behind you. So I wanted to hear your thoughts on that before we close that out. But I want to make sure also, and we come back to you to see if there was anything else you wanted to add.
I mean, I used to be big into it, especially early on my YouTube time.
Everybody needs shelves.
Oh yeah, I need to have that cool shelves with a backdrop.
Yeah.
As you can see, I stopped caring, making it look nice.
For those that are listening in the audio realm, Trav has a very clean room.
Yes,
incredibly
absolutely.
clean.
I have the cleanest room here.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's like I gave up trying to make it look nice. Clean as his cut. I'm killing you. Sorry, I shouldn't be looking at chat. For audio listeners, fellow YouTuber Chris Mykonos fan insulted my hair, and I will kill him.
If you want Chris's rebuttal, tune in next week to the episode 2 of the Crubcast, where Chris will drop his fat diss track
We will hear from Chris Mykonos fan.
Oh,
No, I mean, like, if I could, start over, I guess, with this shelf, I don't even know what I do, honestly. The idea of, like, a cool gaming bookshelf backdrop just isn't as appealing to me personally. Like, having it represent me, I guess.
yeah.
Because, like, I see other people with one, and it's like, yeah, that's cool. You made it look nice. It looks like a reflection of you. And I guess mine is a reflection of me, because it's messy as shit. But I don't think that's who I am. And in a way, I kind of felt like, not quite a poser in that regard, but like, I was trying to be something I wasn't when I was really big into that.
I mean, we all start out that way too, in the
yeah.
creator sphere specifically. You always start out ripping off the people that you first watch. Or
Absolutely.
that inspire you.
I mean, what were you going to say?
I was just say it's funny because, like, I never really did that. I mean, obviously, I'm not really as much of, like, a video content creator. But the content that I did make, I was just like, oh, I'm going to make my room look cool, and then I'm just going to point a camera at it. So
You had
That's a good way to do it.
In your case, you had the benefit of having amateur experience from, like, the filming music videos for your own personal stuff years prior in, middle and high school. And then also that when you started, you had, myself or Trav or M to kind of give you immediate feedback from a creator perspective. So you kind of had a little head start on, like, let's get your camera positioned a certain way. Like, I helped you set up the camera placement in your old set.
Yeah,
And
no,
that
you're
sort of
absolutely right.
So.
No, you're absolutely right. It's nice having a line to people who know what they're doing.
Yeah. So, M, you live in a void. What does your game shelf look like?
It might surprise you to think that what would I collect, right? Would I have a collection at all if I'm so against
dead
it? And
animals.
Yeah, of course I do.
Dead animals.
No.
Now we're talking.
Hess trucks.
Oh, you would collect Hess trucks.
You would
You
definitely
would
collect
definitely
Hess trucks.
collect
Why would you
Hess
even
trucks.
think that?
Dude,
What
I
are
don't have a
earrings,
single Hess truck.
wicker
Not one.
furniture.
No.
Hess trucks on wicker furniture.
Yes.
No. So I do have all sorts of things. I'm a little, I don't know, pack rat of my own. I have artwork all over the house. There's literally not a single room of this or wall in my home that doesn't have so much artwork all over it. I have plenty of games. I have several shelves of games and movies and things like that. I just haven't added to it in a long time because, I don't see that there's a whole lot of value in it. Even movies anymore, right? What's the point of buying a Blu-ray to get the ultraviolet key? Or
Actually,
it used to be before ultraviolet disappeared.
Actually, I'll give you one because I just happened to deal with this crap like 2 weeks ago when I was working on my Futurama video, where for those that don't follow, I made a video on the Futurama video game, which was officially written by the Futurama team, and the executive producers and creators of the show had direct input on the game. That was later aired as a lost episode of sorts on one of the DVD releases of the movies that brought Futurama back. And so it's officially considered like the missing 73rd episode of the show because it came out 2 days after the first run of the series ended, after it had been canceled. And you can find the cut that they remade of the game's cutscenes as an episode. You can find that on YouTube freely, but there's a director commentary track that you cannot find online, even in the repositories of ambiguous, and by ambiguous I mean very illegal, hosted content that have all of the these DVDs and everything, the things like the bonus features and the menus themselves. There used to be like little menu games that existed. Those parts are actually lost, and that's the only reason to really collect anymore, in my opinion.
I'm not going to lose sleep because I can't play the skiing mini game on the Elf DVD.
No, but the director commentary stuff was very valuable to find out. Like that, when I found the transcript of it, they were talking about how the game actually turned a profit. Like it sold as well as they expected or a little better, which is fascinating because the game is so expensive nowadays because it had a limited print run, and yet it somehow turned a profit, which is weird for a show that was canceled 18 months before that, and whose final episode burned out 2 days before it.
Dude, I love Futurama, man.
Great show.
I'm so excited to watch that video.
Hell yeah. And for those that are listening in the audio realm or watching on YouTube, any of the stuff that we're talking about, whether it's that Futurama video or M's video on game preservation or the prior Crubcast discussion from our early setup days where we talked about preservation, those are going to be in the show notes or the description on YouTube if you need them. But coming back around to what you were saying about seeing no reason to own DVDs, that was just the caveat I would throw on there.
Sure. I think that there's always, this is one of those cases where the exceptions prove the rule, 100%. Right? Like this one has that thing and most of them don't. And that's why it's just not valuable.
Yeah.
I think that I have over, the years of collecting these things, because I used to be, very big into, I want the collect. I have literally up. Okay, don't judge me. I have the collector's bust version of Duke Nukem fucking Forever sitting next to me, okay? So, like...
how big's the jar? How big's the jar?
You set me
You'd
up.
need a decent jar to fit that.
Yeah, you would need a tub, dude. You'd need a moving tub.
You set up expectations that I didn't expect there because you said up, so I thought you were going to say the collector's edition, like, statue of Up on Blu-ray.
Yeah, up on DVD, dude.
No, it's up on my shelf. I have it sitting next to my Borderlands 2 exotic chests. Like I'm that guy too. But over time, I have learned that what I like are things that are meaningful and important to me. And so, I also have next to me an original, and you were with me when we got it because it was at TMG, an original Atari Missile Command box that we got at that store that we were taken to. Yeah, like those things are things that I've started to appreciate a lot more.
Yeah, like
that's so funny. I was just saying, I'm kind of on the same wavelength. I don't have a whole ton of things like that I collect. I used to collect the CDs. I stopped collecting the CDs. I used to collect DVDs. I stopped collecting the DVDs. And now, whenever famous Twitch streamer JTart9 comes to my house, he's like, why don't you have, like, tchotchkes? Why don't you have things on your walls or decorations or whatever?
He has Olive Garden slogans on his walls, so... He
does have like, a live, laugh, love type situation going on. But, so now, I've taken that to heart, because I now have sitting next to me, I have the passport from Hitman right next to one of mine and Kevin's friends' fake IDs from when we were like children.
For the record, not fake ID.
To buy drugs.
School ID, like a middle school ID card that you needed to get into the school.
Yeah,
not a fake ID.
No,
just to clarify, because we were
totally
in
not
school.
Totally not that. Yeah.
Yeah. We have used it at bars, though.
Yeah. I mean, dude, there are some casinos that would just take the school ID and call it a day.
Would there be?
It says middle school on it. If they took that from someone who looks nothing like that, at that point, you have to know the person that's giving you the fake ID is over the legal age for whatever you need. Because
the
if
real
they're
ID,
you,
the real school ID.
Yeah, if they're giving you an inverse fake ID, then they're old enough.
I love the idea of getting an inverse fake ID. What is that? Is that just an ID? Is that just a real ID?
No. An inverse fake ID is when you give someone a fake ID, but you are giving them a fake ID that is clearly not of age for the product. So a middle school ID when you're buying beer.
Right. So it's like if you want to feel young again.
Oh, we should try that. Don't try that.
Do not try that. And also,
I'm gonna do it.
And also, Crub denounces the use of any illegal and or fake IDs. We denounce that.
Why are you speaking for me? I don't denounce this.
Do you not denounce that?
Do you not denounce?
Legally? Legally, do you not denounce? Okay, well, legally, I'm trying to protect myself, so,
Only do legal shit, please.
Yeah, only do legal stuff. Do not do crimes. Anyway, sorry, Moriarty, you were saying
Do crimes.
Do crimes, yes.
do crimes. Yeah,
Do crimes if they're moral.
oh man. Wow. So Kevin, what's your pet peeve? What grinds your gears? What's the thing that you don't?
See, Nicco, I was trying to specifically not ask Kevin that because he's gonna say something that'll make me really sad.
Well, now
It's
I have
okay.
to.
I'll play cleanup. It's okay.
Now I have to say something that'll make you sad. I was gonna say podcasts that stream live on Twitch at 7 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday, and then air on Friday on all audio platforms and YouTube. But instead, I'll say one of those things that is a pet peeve of mine that I'm not very fond of is having to unfriend your dead relatives on Facebook because they're no longer your friend.
So true. I really wish I didn't have to do that.
That is true. They really should just let you put a death date
like,
on Facebook and then
They
close
should
out
really
the
just
account.
automatically delete people's Facebook when they die.
Yeah,
So,
like honestly.
based on a true story. So, there was a day that I was going through my Facebook, and just cleaning up stuff, like old random friends from school that like you weren't really friends of yours, but you went to school together, so you always added each other on Facebook. And I was going through that and just cleaning up that and cleaning up that sort of garbage sort of housekeeping stuff. And I was going through my friends list and I saw my deceased grandfather, who has been dead for like 10 years, and didn't use Facebook to begin with. And I'm pretty sure his Facebook at one point was hacked.
You unfriended your dead grandfather?
We're not friends
man.
anymore.
What do you expect me to do?
We are not friends anymore.
They're not friends anymore, dude.
Oh my god.
I mean, I've unfriended people and then they died. That's happened to me.
Dude, Nicco has the freaking death note.
No, not right away. Like long time later.
But yeah, no, I unfriended him because his Facebook had been hacked multiple times, and as somebody who is always concerned about privacy and yet has a YouTube channel, I was like, I don't really want. Like, I keep my Facebook pretty close. I don't really use it anyway, except for to keep updated with friends and family, or like as an archive, if that. And I was like, he's been hacked before. I think my also dead grandma had been hacked not long before that. And so I was like, yeah, I should do this for the sake of safety, because no one has access to the account except for somebody from, Serbia or something, when they try and hack in and steal money from his kids.
Dude, that's my favorite. It's like the idea of like, you get a Facebook message from like a dead relative just being like, "Hey, want to join my MLM?" Like,
that literally happened.
Want to join my free gift card giveaway?
Someone did that with my grandma's Facebook at one point to one of her kids, and they're like, "Man, the feeling of seeing a message from your dead mom on Facebook, that's kind of." It's kind of sus.
Yeah, that's so much worse, because like on Twitter, they'll use celebrities after they die and use them to promote products and stuff.
Oh,
and that's
yeah.
always super weird. That's
Following
way
the
worse
Stan
when it's
Lee
your
Twitter
family.
was painful.
That actually brings me into one of my pet peeves. One of my things that grinds my gears, right, is posthumous celebrity releases and posthumous use of celebrity Twitter and Facebook accounts.
I think I'm okay with posthumous releases if it's directly consented by the deceased.
Sure, right? Like Lil Wayne, for example, has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of verses on hard drives just somewhere. Like that.
I thought you were gonna say he died, and I was like, what?
No, I just mean for when he does. Rest in peace, Lil Wayne. He's not dead
Juice
yet.
WRLD is an example that's more applicable,
Sure.
because he had like hundreds of scratch tracks that he had recorded, and I believe it was like his partner and the label were like, yeah, we're going to release this over time so that we can give his kid some sort of trust fund to give them a living or a lifestyle that would have been up to the standard that he was raising.
Yeah,
That
right.
makes sense.
And I think Avicii had a similar thing. Avicii's like a DJ. And we've bored Trav. Trav has gotten up from his chair.
I don't know where my
Just
phone went.
Oh yeah, dude, during a podcast. Great time to be on the phone, dude.
What if my dead grandpa wants to sell me an MLM? I gotta be there.
By the way,
of
I
course,
hacked into your dead grandpa's Facebook, Trav. Give me money.
Oh, thank God.
Dude, well, maybe you should unfriend
Gone but
him.
not
It's not-
forgotten.
If you don't,
It's not
if you
like
don't-
he's your friend anymore.
If you don't give me money, I'm gonna post the nudes he has in a private Facebook album. I don't know why he
There's a
uploaded
lot
them.
to unpack there.
I don't know why he uploaded them to Facebook, but do you want to see your grandpa's dong?
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Trav,
Well,
you're flirting with the devil.
If you
I don't want to be
if-
like that one streamer that pulled up his sister's nudes on stream.
Bro, what?
That's all I'll say.
were you gonna call my bluff and pull up your grandpa's nudes? Is that what you're saying?
Oh my god. But yeah, no. So like Avicii had his friends. Avicii's parents had his friends finish his record he was working on. That
sense.
makes sense to me. That's all
I would
kosher.
disgrace your legacy if you died and do that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I would expect you to, but I would let it happen.
would
I
have
wouldn't
us-
haunt you.
You would have half a song that, like, instead of like cutting it halfway like you would normally see done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just make my own beat to continue the beat, and
That's
just gonna be
exactly-
entirely fart noises.
Yeah, that's
Like-
exactly what I would expect, and that's exactly what I would want.
Excessive amounts of fart noises.
Right, yeah. I would not haunt you for doing that.
I will find the brown note.
Good, perfect. That's what we need. Look, I will say, I do think the idea of the brown note is predicated on already having an urge to use the restroom. I'll say that. But
Hey guys, I want you to know that my spit glands underneath my neck here are in excruciating pain for no reason.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that you could like spit like one of those lizards that has the.
I used to be able to. That was a popular thing in middle school.
yeah, wait, can you
Now I'm picturing with the Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus things next
Yeah,
to
dude,
his
I
head.
got like those like neck frills.
the
Yes.
neck frills. And
yeah.
I
Yeah.
really want to see Trav with some neck frills.
Oh, dude, I
How
want to see
fleshy would they be?
Trav just like pull his tongue back and just water gun some people at too many games.
Dude, I'm about to be arrested with bioterrorism.
Trav, at our panel that doesn't exist at this year's Too Many Games, the panel will be called Trav Spits on People.
Oh my god, yeah. Wait, we can just do that panel out. We
They
can do it
might
at the
accept that
Moe's.
title.
We can just do that panel at like the Moe's nearby.
Trav
thought
spits
come
on
into my
people
mind
at
last night.
Moe's.
Should we tell the story about how you stopped one of the most famous YouTubers on the platform, Nicco, from taking a dump in Moe's?
Oh yeah, you guys tell
Made
that
him
one.
stand there awkwardly.
I don't.
I don't know if I've heard this.
You
He
were
was
you
so
not there for that?
angry at Nicco. It was clear.
Oh, should we dox the YouTuber?
All right. Well, let me begin with saying that I do not have a gallbladder. We got to
Yes,
start there.
that's where I would start too. I think
We
that's
gotta-
incredibly important to this discussion.
we got to
Start there.
start there. There was a reason I was in that bathroom for so long.
He was holding on for dear life.
Yeah. Okay. So
We had really fatty prepared Tex-Mex food, and Nicco had the poop fairy call, and so he had to go and check under his pillow, if you know what I'm saying. And so he went in the bathroom, and we're hanging out there for like a good probably 10 minutes, like somewhere around 10 minutes. But I believe right after Nicco had gone up to go to the bathroom, moments later, Scott the Woz is at this Moe's. He had just finished eating his food and had to use the restroom after being,
At Moe's.
at Moe's after being accosted all day by
Oh,
adoring
the poor-
fans.
He couldn't even order his food without people coming over to him. And
Yeah.
it's at Moe's. It's not even like at a real place.
Yeah, and so
Yeah, Moses isn't real.
Moe's is
Do you think
ethereal,
it is?
and
yeah,
so
Moe's AI generated.
So this poor man who couldn't even go away to use the bathroom probably the entire day because he's just got fans in line and like a crowd around him.
I remember he told us later that he had like 4,000 people that he shaked hands with that day.
Yeah, so he wants to go wash his hands maybe before he eats his food. And his food's getting cold, and he's just standing outside the bathroom, hearing grunting probably, and just like maybe some slight moans, like it's kind of weird. And that's the story about how Nicco stopped Scott the Woz from pooping.
Oh, but then he had to go into that restroom.
Oh God!
Dude, it was
think about that.
Actually, that was the worst part for me. Was
you come out and you see Scott standing?
Well, first of all, he knocked.
you had to make contact with him.
Well, first of all, let me
in the eye and know he's going in there.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. That what made it worse is that he knocked twice. Twice. He knocked twice. He knocked twice.
Did he say "Hey y'all"?
No. Oh my God, dude. This is man. So yeah, that was just complete. So the thing. So circling back, to the gallbladder. Whenever I eat, Tex-Mex, right, or whenever I eat even the slightest bit of ground beef.
Whenever I eat, pretty much, yeah. It's 10
you're
minutes.
In America, come on.
Dude, it's 10 minutes on a dime. I eat, 10 minutes, rest, right? That's it. I eat, 10 minutes, poop fairy comes, right? So it was 10 minutes. I hit my timer right on the mark.
You're like fucking Dead Man from Death Stranding. Every 10 minutes you gotta go.
Dude, legitimately.
You go to the beach and you gotta go and seek out the ethereal lost toilet paper, and then you get revived.
For real. And I went to the Nickel, like I went Nicolas Cage on this restroom, right? It was just a lot. It was just a lot.
So Nicolas Cage. Are we talking like Pig Nicolas Cage or what?
Mandy Nicolas Cage.
Is
I went
Nicolas
Mandy
Cage,
Nicolas Cage on this restroom.
I forgot about Pig. I when you said that, I had a Zelda flashback.
Pig. So
Nicolas
I went
Cage,
Nicolas
Pig.
Cage.
Best film he's ever done.
Weird movie.
Yeah. I went Nicolas Cage on this restroom in that it was just too much. It was over the top. And sometimes reserved. But basically I hear the knock and I'm terrified. My heart is pounding for multiple reasons. And then I wait a little bit. I'm like, okay, I gotta I can't just decide when I'm done. Someone else decides that. And so I wash my hands. I finish up. I wash my hands. I go out and I just look Scott in the eye, and I was like, and I nodded at him, then left.
I really wish you had just been like, "Yo, big fan. You're gonna need one."
I should have.
So the point really, I think, is I'm so sorry, Scott.
Yeah.
You've been very kind to me every time I've seen you.
This is our apology video.
I am also very sorry. I think I'm the one who has the most to answer for here.
I was drunk
we
as
allowed
shit
you
when
to
I
do
met
that.
Scott.
We have a lot to answer for, too.
When the short / TikTok of this specific conversation goes up, I want someone to send it to Scott, and it's going to be one of us.
It's got to be you or Trav, because it's the same principle as getting fast food customer service to reply to you. It's the most followers. So whoever has that sends it to him, and then he'll get it. Easy.
The moral of this story is that it's very valuable to have a Discord chat with your friends, or if you're in another group chat of some sort, to have a room where you rate your poops, because it makes you audit your poop health, and that's how you know if something's wrong, because you have to think about it. You don't just let it pass.
Worst mistake of my life was muting that channel. I realized I screwed up in life.
No pictures.
And I unmuted it.
And now Trav has the worst gut health.
Never any pictures. Don't allow pictures.
No picture.
But
no pictures allowed, just text.
It's very
Rate
valuable.
on a 1 to 5, 1 to 10, or crossbow to throwing spear rating.
I have no interest. I do not care. I will never unmute that room.
No,
It's very
you
valuable.
Will shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I know, you're
unmute it.
You should
You're
see
missing a lot.
You should
dude.
see
You're
like
missing
Minnie.
kind of a lot.
Minnie gives really
It's
good
a
ratings.
bonding ritual, M.
Yeah. I was gonna say
I don't
Minnie.
need to bond over this.
Famous,
I'm sorry.
famous.
Then I don't need to bond with you.
Famous YouTuber Mini Me has really good stories about his poops.
Oh, he's a literary genius.
Hi, Minnie.
Just kidding, M. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Anyway, now that I've derailed this conversation,
I don't have a seg. I don't know where we're going.
I was drunk when I met Scott the Woz, but I remember him going, "Oh, I've seen you on Twitter." That's all I
You're
got.
the
Hey, man, he's
T-posing
seen
guy.
you on Twitter.
Oh my god, can you imagine?
You're the T-posing guy, dude.
Man.
That was the night that Cat Icarus did the same thing, except he followed me.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true. Dude, you were sweating. I just remember you were just covered in sweat.
That's just how you
I
describe
realized-
Trav. Like, no matter what.
So
Yeah.
I'm already okay. I live in basically desert conditions. Please don't dox me. I live near the Salt Lakes, but I
Don't dox me. Here's where I am.
Here's my
it's really
here's my latitude
really
and
freaking
longitude.
dry. So it's like X25. So it's really dry where I am, and I've grown accustomed to that. If I go anywhere that has a humidity level higher than 5%, I am drenched. Like
Yeah.
I've no kidding.
Yeah.
I can't handle it. But also, having alcohol makes me sweat a lot too.
True. Oh, and caffeine
And we
too.
were drinking that night.
No, caffeine doesn't make me sweat.
You'd be surprised. It kind of latently does. It did for me. It kind of
Are you saying it
latently
makes
made
me sweat?
It unlocks your
Are you
KO10.
talking for my caffeine?
No.
You don't
I'm just.
Trav. It does actually make you sweat.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
what
just-
Nico's telling
No,
you.
he's
Yeah,
mansplaining
like,
it to you, Trav.
like medically.
He's explaining it to you.
I'm mansplaining it, dude.
Look,
yeah.
I get it. I'm the closest one here to. Never mind. Not finishing that joke.
What? Where? I don't know where you were going with that.
I was going to
but-
say I'm the closest one in Crub to a woman, but that's for. I don't even know what I'd be implying with that.
that doesn't.
There's so
That
many ways
doesn't-
that can be taken, and none of them are going to go.
And I'm not going to
Doesn't-
elaborate
Yeah.
on any of them.
Jesus.
doesn't make any sense.
Uh-huh.
Where's Justin?
Anyways,
Justin, like the way that Justin would be freaking out at this right now is the way that I want to be freaking out at this right now.
what the fuck was I saying? Right,
don't
know. Anyways, why haven't you fed me yet? It's been 3 weeks. That's the question I'm asking myself. Sorry, I looked at chat again. I need to stop doing that.
Dude, it's because you weren't hungry.
Yeah, why aren't you hungry? So anyways, sweat. Yeah, so every time I am down in too many games, because we are lower than the sea level itself, I get really drenched. And I was already like intoxicated more than I should have been in that moment. And so I was meeting all these cool people. We got Scott the Woz, Caddy. That was it.
Others.
Now, I have a good photo of like everybody there. There's Andy,
Yeah, that was a good-
Gilly, and,
Yeah.
and
I think that those were the only two that I met in that moment, but I knew basically everyone there.
yeah.
There were a lot of faces.
And I
That's
was
somewhere
so,
on my Twitter if you want to
I
go
was
find
so
it.
just
Random
out of it and
viewer.
so shiny from how sweaty I was.
Man,
That's everything I was trying to
it
say.
felt
really.
like you jumped in a pool with your clothes on.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, it was nuts. the YouTuber
actually,
circle.
you know what? Speaking of that meetup, that was the same meetup where we had a lengthy conversation started by Caddy about the direction in which you wipe.
Yes.
That's
Oh yeah,
right.
yeah.
So
that
it
makes
all
sense.
everything comes back to poo.
Yeah, dude,
can't
everybody
remember.
does
It's
it.
because it's the one thing that we can all bond over.
Yeah, look, everybody does it. I don't understand being grossed out by it personally.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, no, to be clear, it's whether you stand or sit when you.
No, it was what direction.
Yeah, there was also
do you
back
go,
to
Do
front.
you reach under from the
Yeah,
front?
I was gonna
Or
say
do you reach
some-
from
That's
the
where
back?
it went eventually, but
Some
it started
people-
with "Do you stand?"
I guess I
or
just
do
didn't
you
check
sit?
in until
Yeah.
then because that's
Well,
how
that's-
I remember it being.
So So I did not realize that people like sat down. But also, it's not like I'm out here like fully.
That's why it took you so long to get out of the bathroom with Scott. You were literally pinching one out the whole time.
What? But if you're standing up, you're not spreading your cheeks.
No. I don't do a full, like, I've never done a full stand.
Okay, so you don't like you don't
It's a bit of a squat.
buckle your knees.
You know what? I'm gonna say that this is probably where we're on the first episode of the Crubcast.
Yeah.
Let's save that for episode like 4.
Yeah, we need a dedicated episode to this. We need a dedicated episode to this.
The Rate Your Poop special.
Yeah, I would say that Justin needs to be on that one, just because I think that'd be funny.
Why?
I'm with you. I think it's time to table this.
Oh shit!
Christ, this is not. We spent, audio listeners, this is the first episode of this podcast for you. We spent like 2 months warming up and making sure we were in form for a nice, professional, good time, and it's been a good time. It's been professional.
Yeah.
It's been
No, like
nice.
genuinely, like we can make so many jokes about how like it went off the rails. I don't think I would have been this loosey goosey about it if we didn't have those practices.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's true. And also, I didn't say anything that I wouldn't want associated with.
Yeah.
I'm
I
pretty
just-
comfortable.
I can say something you don't want associated with you.
I just like that we
Do not.
spent a year
Okay.
planning this, and 6 months ago we set this date as episode 1, and we spent 2 full months and most of 2023 preparing for this moment, and then the end of the first episode is going to be us talking about Nicco standing when he wipes. Thanks for
I'm
tuning
glad
in
we
to the
made it
Crubcast.
to this moment.
Nicco, where can we find you?
I am at All Hail Buckets on absolutely every platform. Please find
Please
me
follow
there.
him.
Please listen to my music on Spotify. My record, I have a release date.
We
If
have
we're
a
okay
date.
with.
Yeah.
I have a date. I do. It's uploaded. So Friday, June 9th is my record release date. So check out my Spotify around then and follow me on Twitter for updates until then.
Yeah, and you can find all of our links, mainly our YouTube links, I believe, again in the show notes or the description down below. Moriarty, where can we find you, and do you have anything you want to plug before the end of this episode?
You can find me in the show notes.
There you go. Trav.
Okay. Right. Hi, I'm Travis. Welcome to the podcast. Today we'll be talking about All Hail Buckets. No, you could find me at youtube.com/at that Trav guy, because we're doing the at thing now and I freaking hate it. You can find me on Twitter at the other Trav guy, because that Trav guy was taken and I didn't want to be Trav guy 2 because I'm the other one, not the original. Everything I do is unoriginal. You could also find me on... Oh, I don't think I have any other platforms.
And Kevin, where can we
Never
find
mind.
you?
Kevin, where can we find you?
You can find me everywhere at the Golden Bolt, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, maybe elsewhere if I'm forgetting any. And like I said, somewhere in this episode, I did just release a video about that Futurama Lost Adventure episode, the 73rd episode. That's just a video game. That's pretty cool. I have other stuff that'll be out maybe by the time you listen to this, but there's a whole bunch of stuff there you can watch. I don't need to plug it too much. So any last words before we end off episode 1? I shouldn't be doing this, but
I'm going to watch your video on Futurama immediately.
we have a post
That's good.
show after this.
Immediately when we're done.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to watch Nicco watch your video.
You can find us at Crub Official on every platform except for Twitch, where we're at Crub_Official. Again, I've said it multiple times already. We tape live on Twitch with an exclusive pre-show and post-show that starts around 6:30. The show starts around 7, and then we have a post-show where we hang out with chat, catch up on what you guys thought about the episode, and have a lot of fun. And it's probably much more unhinged than this already was. So if you like that, make sure to tune in live, and if not, thank you for tuning in at all. Make sure to leave a review or a comment. Ideally a nice one, but it doesn't have to be. It's up to you. So, as always, we'll see you next week, and goodbye. We don't have an outro. We didn't do an outro.
See you later.
We spent a year
Have a
on
nice
this,
life.
and we didn't have an outro. How do we...